Right. Hi, this is session 9 in our game of Fearful Symmetries, the Trail of Cthulhu campaign by Steve Dempsey, although our game is increasingly departing from anything in the book as various player decisions unroll. This game was organized through the Open Hearth Gaming calendar. If you'd like to find out more about Open Hearth, check out openhearthgaming.com. I'm Shane, my pronouns are they, them, and I'll get the players to introduce themselves and their characters briefly, starting with Stephen and Owen.
I mean, we weren't meant to be fleeing a gangland murder at the end of our last mystery. Um, hey there, I am Stephen, he, they. I am playing Owen. I'm trying to think. I think this was the first murder, right? First murder of the series.
Well, I guess it
We
depends
saved.
whether you count throwing the child or child-shaped thing into the fire.
No, that doesn't count.
Okay, then sure, first murder.
Wow, glad we sorted that out.
Yeah. Um, yeah, once you're a creature that's like client that like tries to bite someone, doesn't count as murder.
Okay, good to
That's
know.
that's the horror rule.
Have you met
Um,
a cat?
Look, if this was a horror game, that might count. That might not count.
All right, we're not going to talk about harm to domestic animals for lines and veils
Okay.
reasons, so let's just move on. Oh, what have I done to my tabs? Um, Sorry, Stephen, we interrupted. Is there anything else you wanted to say about?
Yes.
Yeah. The last time we saw Owen, he was punching Jack. Um, Happy to find out how that punch went. Um, yeah.
All right, cool. It seems almost universally applicable for Owen to start a session by saying, "Oh, last we saw Owen, he was punching Jack." But we'll see how that particular punch plays out. Thank you,
I've only
T.
punched Jack like one time before at this point.
I mean, last time it was sort of fake. We haven't really established how real or fake this punch was, but we'll come to that in a moment. Um, thank you, T.
Hi, I'm T, she, her, and I'm playing George Bennett, she, her as well. Uh, Lesbian research associate, research fellow. I did highlight it so it was easier to find. Who is currently having to deal with the fact that her Floy is not the word I'm looking for. Flaw is not the word I'm looking for. She did things that some members of the gentry did not enjoy and told her they didn't, and has sort of been waiting for the shoe to drop, which it did last session in learning that they were attempting to entice Carrie Worthington, her research assistant, uh, into, the Hollow Hills. And she has no idea, but also that's where Jack is right now. Jack and Owen.
Mhm. Thank you very much. And Puckett.
Um, First of all, Stephen, sorry about interrupting. You know how I playful, not malicious, but I apologize. Anyway, I'm Puckett. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing uh, a disaster everything, basically. I would call him a musician, but we haven't really seen much of that until the previous session. Uh, but his name is Jack Taylor. He is an American. He fled the United States due to some vague issues with, say, money and maybe a couple of angry husbands, and possibly selling his soul at the crossroads at midnight, which actually I think we've established is something that happened because he's trying to negotiate with the devil again and instead ran into the Fae. I'm sure it'll turn out swell.
All right, excellent. So we're going to pick up this week with George. You are in your office, I think it was, with Lily. And when we finished, she had just sort of started telling you a little about the children of Leviathan, who seemed to be the same children that were connected to the dolmen at Gumby Hall. And she had told you that these children could perhaps be used or worked with, and you replied that you weren't sure that was correct. So as we pick this up today, Lily will give you a sort of somewhat superior smile and say, Miss Bennet, nothing is impossible for the Pomegranate Lodge. But you sense for the first time in this conversation that what she's saying isn't true. What do you do?
Uh, I think George settles back a little bit and frowns because I think going into this, she was very much hoping that this would be a fruitful partnership. And over the course of this conversation, has begun to realize that I don't know what our circle is called, whatever our disaster cabal is, um, is perhaps not going to see eye to eye with the Pomegranate Lodge. And I think she's sort of studying Lily and says, "Tell me you haven't already tried."
Well, it's not that exactly. I mean, the children are to be feared. That you have even heard of them makes me all the more sure that you need our protection. Children are spirits. They live in the great dark that surrounds the land of the dead and venerate the things that dwell there. They have long memories. If they desire to hurt you, they will torture you and your grandchildren and their grandchildren, and they'll still be torturing your descendants on the day of judgment when their dark god consumes the world.
And I think George gives a sort of a queer little smile and says, "I will admit, Miss Lily, descendants are not the top of my list of worries personally."
He takes that on. The pain that they can inflict in a single lifetime is more than enough that you should be concerned.
I mean, I certainly am. I've seen what they've done to one family already.
What did you see?
And George has been very forthcoming up until here. Um, I'm trying to decide how much she wants the lodge to know. Uh, Enough to know that nothing good can come of interacting with them.
Do you want me to cut away for a minute? You can think about it.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Thank you.
All right. So, Jack and Owen, you are beneath Meon Hill. You're sort of standing in this little cave, little chamber at the threshold of a crossing to fairy. And as we finished, Jack had just asked the fairies there what kind of bargain they would offer, and Owen, as we established, punched him. So, Owen, I'm interested in what sort of punch this is. Like, are you trying to knock him out? Are you just really annoyed? Are you trying to, knock some sense into him? What does punched him mean?
I'm gonna try to punch him and gag him, was my plan. Knock him down, gag him, and tie him.
All right.
Well, don't
Um,
threaten me with a good time.
well, I mean, I guess then I'll ask Puckett how resistant you are to being knocked out and gagged, because I mean, I guess we can play this out as a combat, or we can reach some sort of agreement about what it's going to look like.
Uh, in this case, considering Jack has an idea and he's sure that it's a good one, I'm going to be very resistant
All right.
because
Um,
he thinks this is the best idea he's had. Reselling his soul, that's a plan right there. That's solid.
reselling the soul that he doesn't currently have the sort of contract for. But okay.
Details.
Owen, I guess go ahead and make a fighting roll.
It's what we call speculation chain. And let's see, because Is this a thing? Is this the sort of thing where no, because we don't really have opposed rolls in this, really.
That's right. So you're just trying to beat 4.
Okay. I'm being perfectly honest here. Owen does not care enough about Jack that he's going to spend down his pool too much. I'll spend one here, and we'll see if
Okay.
I succeed at knocking Jack down. Or do I want to do anything first? Because I do have. Hmm, no, I'll do that. Let's go over to rules collaboration. There it is. The die room.
Okay. Do you've got the link?
Yep, I have it.
All right.
God damn it.
That will be, is it D6 damage for an unarmed strike? I think it is. Um, uh, yeah. Unless anyone can find.
No, I think it's D6 for unarmed.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right, go ahead. Roll your D6. All
Yeah, I
right.
rolled it. I got 3.
All right. Do you want to spend a point of violence to double the damage?
Oh, didn't realize you could do that. I guess I want to check in here with Puckett because this is PvP.
Uh-huh.
Uh, how are you okay with me doubling the damage?
I would be offended if you didn't. I mean, I'm
Okay.
assuming I get a chance to like roll to resist or dodge or something along those lines.
No, the attack roll is just the attack roll. If he hits you, it will deal damage.
Okay.
Okay. I'll spend a point of violence. That's 6 damage.
All right. So, Jack, you are going to be like really hurt by that. That's going to drop you to 0. And
Yep.
I think that, as your sort of bell is rung by this unexpected blow, just for a moment you flash back to that night at the crossroads when you sold your soul to the devil. And
Mhm.
I would like you to tell us a little bit about what that looked like. How did the devil appear to you that night?
So, the Walking Man, you don't recognize him, but you know him. Making sense? I knew what I was doing. I was out there with the lantern. I was sitting on this tree stump. I was playing guitar. I knew why I was there. I knew what I wanted. All of it. Sure enough, out of darkness, around midnight, start hearing these footsteps. And just walking right into the light as if he owned it. Bam. Black suit, black shirt, black tie, shoes that cost more than I'm going to ever make. I can't even tell you what they're made of. Tall, slender. He had this grin on his face that was, it wasn't exactly like a smirk. It's like he was smiling about a foregone conclusion, something that he knew would happen regardless of what happened. And he opened his mouth, and at the first sound, damn near went deaf. Mortal ears are not meant to hear that shit.
Nice. Um, so the flashback ends, you've been hit hard, but you're still in that chamber with Owen and the gentleman. Owen's just like cracked you pretty good across the jaw. You're not sure you could take another punch like that? what do you do?
The only sensible thing there is to do. Run full tilt through the gateway into Fairy. And I believe that is escape, is it not?
Well, I think that's a fleeing roll at this point.
Okay. So, what am I going to get if I crit on this roll?
Well, hang on. I think this might be a contest if Owen is going to. Well, would Owen try and stop Jack from running through the door?
Try to tackle him, I guess.
Okay, so that's going to make this a contest. So that means that Jack will be making fleeing tests against a difficulty of 4, and Owen will be making athletics tests against a difficulty of 4. And you'll just go back and forth making those tests, and the first to fail loses. So if Jack loses first, Owen gets a good grip on him. If Owen loses first, Jack gets through the door. So Jack, go ahead. So there's no benefits to critting on these rolls because it's a contest rather than a regular test. But
Okay.
all right.
Okay, that's a 6 for my first roll.
Well, okay.
Damn it.
Go ahead, Jack.
I'm going to spend 3 here. Oh. General abilities are 1 for 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to spend 3
Mm-hmm.
and roll d6. And it really doesn't matter what the roll is.
That's right.
It's going to be a 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
7. Take that, Owen.
Okay, that's a 3 for me.
Oh, so Jack is through the door into Fairy. The two gentlemen will smile at each other and at Owen. Owen, are you going through after him?
Nope.
All right. Well, we'll cut away from the scene and we'll pick up with George. So George, in your conversation with Lily, you suddenly have this odd feeling. You just have the sense that somewhere something bad has happened. What do you tell Lily about what you know of the children?
Yeah. Never a dull moment. Uh, yeah. Because she also knows that the messing birds were involved in some sort of plot against Lizzie Wyberg, who Lily seems to think is missing. Um, I think she, begins to speak and then stops herself and then says, I don't know how much I should tell you. I mean, you're offering to protect us. And again, I don't think you've met Jack, so I don't think you understand what you're offering. And you say that you'll protect England, but you're still entertaining the idea of trying to treat with the things befouling our magic. It's wrong.
Uh, it's endearing that you still think in these terms, and just another sign that you do need our guidance and protection. You move in magical worlds now. The questions of right or wrong do not concern you. There's only power and the
Uh,
uses to which it can be put.
and I think at that, George nods very slowly and stands and says, this has been a very illuminating conversation.
Is that it?
Yes, she opens the door.
All right. Lily will step outside and hand you a card as she goes, saying, This is where I can be contacted if you change your mind. Uh, your friends have made an enemy of Moses Sabini. He's powerful, uh, and the children too, perhaps. I think it will not be long before you reconsider. But I
Well,
wish
we
you
can
all the
add them to
best.
the list.
And as she says, I wish you all the best, you sense again that she's not telling you the entire truth, but she will leave.
Uh, and Jack will look at the card and sigh and close her office door. And I suppose tuck it into her desk.
All right. So Owen, you are left standing in this chamber below me on hill with two fairies. Um, what do you do?
Uh, Realistically, Owen doesn't think that he could intimidate or do anything to these clearly supernatural beings. So he looks around for a second and starts walking down the hill.
So you're going home?
Jack, I tried.
Hmm.
At a certain point, it doesn't make much sense to throw good money after bad.
Hmm. Um, all right. That seems very reasonable. Um,
I'm gonna stop in. I'm gonna pay a visit to George to let her know that Jack's decided to sell his soul to the fairies.
all right. I mean, it's going to be pretty late by now because Jack went out there at midnight. Like by the time you get back to Oxford, it's, what, 1 or
Yeah,
2
in the
a.m. at the
morning.
earliest. Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow morning. So, uh, Jack, you have emerged into some sort of clearing in a forest of tall green trees. Um, Blue flowers sort of subtly mark paths between the trees, which are spaced out, um, sort of, except for patches of woodland flowers. And the two fairies who were on the other side of the door before are in front of you again. And they say, "Oh, Mr. Taylor, are you all right? That blow looked uh, vicious."
Uh,
And they will reach
It's
out as if to stroke your chin where Owen hit you.
I'm quite all right. I'm quite all right. Owen does that to me on a regular basis. It's it happens at least once a fortnight.
Hmm. Well, I don't know that you should be treated so. You were interested in our offer, I think.
Well, I'm here now, so I'd certainly like to hear it.
Hmm. Well, we understand that you made a certain bargain for an important part of your person, and that you would like this bargain to be reversed, set aside, say how you will. Well, merely stealing the contract will had no effect. The possession of the physical scroll, I mean, the devil himself invented the filing in triplicate. He certainly keeps a copy, but we know a way that you could annul the contract for your soul without penalty. We will. We wish that we could freely tell this to you, but by our nature, we are creatures of bargain and contract, and there must be fair exchange. So we will tell you a way that you can annul that contract uh, if you merely promise to play for us at a party for our king at a time of our choosing. What say
Well,
you?
you obviously know that I'm a bargaining man. Is it okay to ask questions about certain aspects of this offer?
Of course, we would not wish you to be deceived. It's clear that they're lying as they say that.
Eh, when it comes to playing for this king, does anyone intend to kill the king?
Not that we know of.
You know, when I say not that I know of, I'm usually reminded of how staggeringly ignorant I actually am.
So their eyes flare with anger at that, and they sort of have to visibly compose themselves before they say, if the suggestion is that we may be ignorant of the matters of fairy, of this land in which we live, you are quite mistaken. Uh, we
I'm
can't.
merely saying that there there are always things going on. Some of them are new, some of them are merely thoughts that have yet to congeal into action. There's always something new to learn. I'm not saying that you're ignorant. I'm simply saying that as far as we know is, well, it's not even written on paper at the moment, is it?
What would you have us say? That we can guarantee beyond question that no one will attempt to kill the king? We have no reason to think that anyone will kill the king or attempt it. It would be a fool indeed who challenged King Oberon in the in his own court.
This performance you wish me to give.
Mhm.
I get the feeling that you intend to do something with it or benefit by it, whether it's currying favor with the king or distracting the king for a moment. What do you actually want?
Oh,
Keeping
well,
in mind that I have no horse in this race at all.
you make it sound tawdry, but I suppose that perhaps currying favor is a fair way to express it. It is important in the circles in which we meet to amuse and entertain the king, to present him with new entertainments. Uh, it may indeed raise our stature in the court to organize a party with a human musician, and that is the benefit that we propose to gain from this agreement.
You know what? I've heard deals that were worse that I thought were better. You want me to play a show? I'll play a show. You want me to write a song for the king? I'll write a song for the king. But I would appreciate it if you could do what you can to. I've got a few friends, and while I'm here waiting for your performance, they could be in trouble out there. Any chance you could watch over them as part of this deal?
You would like us to watch George and Owen as part of our agreement?
To observe them and protect them. You're obviously powerful, far more powerful than I am. I'm just some low rent magician trying to sell his soul here and there. But they're actually decent people.
You drive a hard bargain, but we could offer to watch over them. Unfortunately, you have attracted the attention of powerful enemies, and I don't know that we could promise to protect them.
Oh, don't I know it? The list just keeps getting longer. Luckily, you're not among them. I haven't done anything to piss you off that I know of.
No, indeed.
Hell, that makes you almost as good as a friend in my book.
I like to think
Sure,
this is the
let's
beginning
do
of a
this.
friendship. Very good.
Let's do this.
All
And
right.
I'll put out my hand, say, where I'm from, it's customary for people to shake on a deal.
All right. Both the fairies reach out to take your hand, but somehow only one hand grasps yours, and they shake, and they say, "We will summon you when the time is right for your performance. For
Oh,
now,
okay.
hmm,
So I don't have to stay here?
oh no, the agreement was that the performance would be at a time of our choosing, and
Yeah.
we will let you know when that is.
Okay.
Uh, but we will tell you now how you may annul your contract, and it is uh, by way of the power of friendship to which you have alluded.
Ooh.
All you need to do is convince one friend that you have wronged or angered, that you are truly sorry, and they must say aloud and truthfully that they accept your apology. And at that, the power of friendship and forgiveness will annul your contract and free your soul.
Well, you gentlemen have been awful nice. I'm pretty sure that I can say I'm well and truly fucked.
I hope this
But,
is some human metaphor with which we are not familiar, but we wish you all the best and hope that our friendship will be a long and rewarding one.
well, to be quite honest with the way I live, I'll be lucky to make it to the King's performance. So if you could maybe watch out a little bit for me too, so I can actually fulfill that part, I can actually be alive to perform for King Oberon. Um, this sounds a whole lot like Midsummer Night's Dream.
There was nothing in the agreement that required you to be alive for your performance, they say, and with that, they will uh, make a gesture and return you to your home. The Let's see. Um, so Owen was going to drop in on George the next morning. Maybe we'll pick up with that scene.
Yeah, I think George would be at home, right? Because that's where Myrna is right now.
Oh yeah, so Myrna is not looking good. Myrna's head has continued to elongate and started to sort of separate into a horn shape. You can no longer really see that she used to have fingers. She just has these sort of paddle-like extensions of her arms. Her skin is whiter and clammier by the day. Oh, and you're
Not good.
visiting George? Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, so
I
I think when
knock on the door.
when George opens it, it's pretty apparent she hasn't slept and is blocking the view into the rest of the room. And when she sees you, her eye is hardened a bit. Um, and then she steps back and says, "You better come in."
All right. As I come in, I say, so Jack has sold himself to the fairies.
Yeah, George closes the door behind you, turns around, slumps against it, slides to the ground, and just buries her head in her hands.
And well, hear me out on this plan. Hear me out on this plan. What if we let them keep him? I think that might actually be more of a detriment to them than trying actually getting him back.
Um, yeah, and I think George looks up at you and says, "I'm sure they will arrange it in whatever way is worst for me personally, Owen." I told you about. Oh, well, I told you about them. Speaking of telling people about things, Owen, uh, Lily from the Pomegranate Lodge had some um, surprising information to share with me.
Uh, I say,
But she was quite specific about why Sabini might be hunting us in particular, and you in particular, Owen. You, I suppose I should have asked more questions about where this came from. And I think she'll just throw the ring at you.
oh boy. Um, yeah, I think Owen looks down at the ring, picks it up and puts it in his pocket. Miss George, the moment Sabiti's hens, the moment she saw us, we were all dead. Sabiti knew whether or not if well, I guess what I should say. I'm looking out for you in the same way I look out for Jack. I can try to direct you away from the things that hurt you, but I can't keep you safe. But I can direct you away from the things that could put you in danger. And there are things, and at the time, it was better that you didn't know the where I got from.
Can't say I'm happier for knowing. Well, that's the children. They're cultists. Oh, uh, children of the Leviathan, by the way. I I suppose my instinct would be to try and research that, but I think if anyone finds out that I've been asking questions, I'll have an even I don't know how many more targets I can have on my back. Um, I do not think the Pomegranate Lodge can be trusted. I am sorry, Myrna. The Fae, and now Sabini, and God knows where Lizzie Wyberg is. I guess it's just sort of a question of who gets us first and how much we can do before that happens.
I think we'll pause there and cut back to Jack. So, Jack, the f after the ferries dismiss you, you arrive
Mhm.
back in your apartment, leaving behind the car that you'd driven to me on Hill. And the first thing you notice is that all of your belongings have been completely destroyed. The mattress is torn into chunks of no more than about an inch square. Every piece of furniture has been completely disassembled. Any crockery has been shattered into tiny pieces. It's difficult to move for the just debris sitting everywhere. And there are two imps just sort of sitting amongst the wreckage and playing with it, throwing it into the air. Um, They're sort of short, their skin is red, they're obviously demonic, devilish in nature. Um, and as they see you walk in, they sort of look to see how you will react to this.
I'd ask what the hell you two want, but I know you're from there. So what the hell do you want?
They both burst out in shrill laughter. It takes them a minute to compose themselves enough to answer. And as they do, they're sort of gasping and trying to get enough control of themselves to speak. One of them says, "The devil's very mad at you, Jack. Stealing from him like that. He doesn't like it."
Well, tell him to get in line. There's a whole lot of people who don't like things that I'm doing right now. He's probably at the end of the line, honestly.
Hmm.
He'll get me
Uh,
sooner or later, right?
well, I think he got you pretty good right now. And it gestures at the wreckage all around it.
Ha, yeah. You two are fucking stupid. You smash some crockery and some furniture and you think that that's something? Your Bush League, your minions, your little skippies sent off to do someone's bidding. Your errand boys. You're nothing.
Oh, look, the scary human thinks he can insult us.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm scary. I'm just saying I know your position in hell. You're a piss pot.
Your soul will be ours to toy with soon enough.
The fuck it will. Trust me. I'm doing enough that Satan's going to want this one for himself. And you two can go back to just fuck. I don't know. Whatever the hell it is you do when you're not messing up my crockery and my glasses and my fucking furniture.
Yeah, I mean, we're not here to hang out and be friends. I think
Yeah,
we've
no, you're
broken
not.
everything.
Yeah, looks like. You done? You happy? You feel satisfied? You
Pretty
think that you did a
much.
good job? You think this annoys me? You
Uh,
think you accomplished anything? Are you big boys now? Does Daddy like you? Does Daddy Devil like you?
Yeah.
Fucking go hang out with Moses Sabini. He might appreciate you. Me? You're pipsqueaks, pissants. You got bigger fish to fry.
Mhm. Well, I hope you sleep well on the remains of your bed. We'll be
I
going.
sleep well wherever I am. So, fuck off.
Mhm. We'll see you again soon enough. And they will vanish in
Maybe.
a puff of sulfur.
And I'll look around at the wreckage and sigh and say, huh, I suppose I should go check in on George and Owen.
All right. Um, so you head down to, the next morning you head down and will arrive at George's at around the point in the conversation that we've just come to. But as you do, as you get to the door of George's apartment, you recognize someone else is coming to see George as well. And it is Barclay, Lizzie Wyberg's assistant.
Hmm.
Um, and she nods in recognition and knocks on George's door.
I'll nod. So, how are you doing?
I've become concerned about Miss Wyberg.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe we should have been concerned about her a few days ago.
She looks very unimpressed that you're suggesting she wasn't concerned enough about her employer. Um, George, you were, as I recall, slumped against the inside of this door. What do you do when you hear the
Mhm.
knock on the outside?
Uh, I mean, I think she's in sort of a fugue of paranoia and fatigue and says, I think she mouths to Owen, "Were you followed?"
Uh, Owen says no, of course not. Says the man with, no notice.
Uh, well, you've positioned yourself as the resident expert on skullduggery, and you don't seem to be lying. So George stands and will open the door. Oh, is
Uh,
she relieved or worried to see Barkley? I don't think she knows yet. Um, and also there's Jack, and she sort of stands aside and says, "Get in quickly."
well,
Sure. But do you have a bottle of something brown?
Jack,
I've
shut
had a
up.
hell of a night.
um, so Barclay sort of ignores Jack as well and says, Miss Bennett, Mr. Heath, I came to see you because I've become concerned about Miss Wyberg. It's not like her to be away for so long without word. And then I found this. And she takes out an envelope from inside her coat and lays it on the coffee table. And you can see that it's a letter addressed to someone named Eileen Bennett. And then she says, and on my way here, I also saw this. And she again reaches inside her coat, and this time she pulls out a newspaper and unfolds it and lays it down on the table. And the headline says, Police seek suspected killer in gangland slaying. And there is an artist's sketch of, unmistakably, an artist's sketch of Owen splashed across the whole of the front page.
I got a critical success on that.
Well, you also left behind the fascist who escorted you there.
Okay, fine.
Um, and I think that we're at the top of the hour, so let's take a 10-minute break here.
I am correct in thinking that we have not previously run into Eileen Bennett.
That is correct.
Okay. I am
I'm back.
noticing the last name though. Caught my eye.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that was the same surname as you when I was making my notes. I think maybe I should change the name to avoid confusion. Um,
Okay. Well, because you talked about like you know, uh generational grudges, and I
mhm.
was like, oh, is this George's grandmother or something?
Yes, I did not intend to introduce this confusion. I think that I will just grab a different name to avoid any confusion.
You know, Shane, you're too honest as a GM because you could have said, of course I meant to do that, and figured out
I,
how to make it even messier for us.
well, I feel that we have like 3.5 sessions left, and I do not want you to be chasing down red herrings at this point. Um, so I think we'll say the letter is addressed to Eileen Brenchley. Um, the yeah. So what do you do?
I guess if Barclay's you know, giving us the letter, George will read it.
So as you pick it up, Barclay will explain that she was tidying the papers in Miss Wyberg's study. She doesn't, Miss Wyberg doesn't generally like her to go in there, but she hasn't had much to do since Miss Wyberg's been away, and she thought she should, see what she could do. And she found this tucked amongst other letters that were all addressed directly to Lizzie Wyberg. But this letter, you see that it's addressed to an Eileen Brenchley in a working class neighbourhood here in Oxford. And it is from Eva Loveday, who Lily last night told you was the leader of the Pomegranate Lodge. And it reads, Dear Miss Brenchley, you cannot have thought this charade would deceive those with eyes to see, and so I conclude you already anticipate my approach. This knowledge will not protect you, or, indeed, Miss Wyberg. Flee if you will. Your plans will fail and your students will fall. You have eaten of my pomegranate and you cannot hide from me.
God damn it, is this another enemy that I haven't met?
Oh yeah, because I guess you weren't there when Sybil was talking with George about uh, the lodge or like having a pomegranate. Um,
I mean, Sabini warned the three of you about the Pomegranate Lodge, so at least the lodge or the pomegranate reference you recognize.
hmm.
On the bright side of things, at least I don't think this time it's my fault.
I think you're right there, Jack. I think we should find Miss Benchley before Miss Loveday does. Or before the cops find, well, she wouldn't say cops, uh, before the police find us.
Why would the police find us?
I mean, the paper with Owen's face on it is right in front of you.
Well, I suppose there's a passing resemblance to Owen, but we only left the one witness. It's okay. We were discreet and targeted. Well, he was discreet and targeted. I ran.
You do generally only need the one witness.
But he's a fascist. It's widely known you can't trust a single thing a fascist says.
Suggesting I kill more people next time, George.
I would rather hope we could keep the amount of murder to the absolute minimum.
Which is what we did. Well, it's what Owen did. Remarkable restraint on his part. Honestly.
And I
And it was
think
self-defense.
Will Jack is talking. George turns to Myrna and says, will you be all right to stay here on your own?
She has trouble making words now, but she says she will.
And I think George will get her. Oh, she's got flipper hands. This is going to be a challenge vis-a-vis communication.
Write some
George
letter.
absolutely has a
Okay,
Ouija board.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. George absolutely has a Ouija board from her
Mhm.
debunking, um, and she will pull that out and say, if this continues, we can use this. But the Pomegranate Lodge thinks that they might have the answer. Then I hope that Miss Wyberg would as well.
She sort of nods.
And George holds up the letter with the address and says, well, who's coming with me?
Oh,
Of
what the
course.
hell. I've got a few days before that performance in Fairy that I agreed to. Maybe more than a few days.
Did they
Said they'd
specify an
probably
actual
know.
time, or is Jack just assuming?
No, the next thing he says, let's just assume it's a few days. I mean, they said it'd be at a time of their choosing. So, yeah. But Up until then, my schedule's open.
I don't want to ask this, but I do need to know. You didn't promise them anything to do with me, did you, Jack?
No, we made a deal. They wanted me to perform for Open Door, I think is the name is.
Oberon.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Hmm.
They said it's the king. I made sure they weren't going to try to kill him. Made sure they didn't know of any plots against him because I didn't want to distract the king and maybe get him killed or anything like that. So I was thinking ahead. And all they wanted is they wanted me to play, do a performance for the dude at a time and place of my choosing, or their choosing.
I like that that is what Jack said. Well,
See,
I will
no
leave you
problem.
to your own affairs.
Well, George, just so you know, I'm going to try to do a better job of helping you. I I've been trying to turn over a new leaf. I know that you don't quite buy it yet, but I'm trying. And I want to show you that I can actually do this, that I can uh, be what team partner, team player.
George does not look particularly comforted at your offer of help. But right now she's got more immediate problems. So she just sort of nods tightly. Um, and you can take that how you will.
Speaking of, where's that bottle of brown liquid? I desperately need a belt after last night. How's your hand, Owen?
Fine, Jack. You have a remarkably soft head.
Good. Good to hear it.
Uh,
Wouldn't want you injuring yourself on my skull now, would we?
so I think maybe this conversation happens as you're en route to the other address, if that works for everyone.
Fine by me.
Um, and you'll arrive at, a tenement building on the other side of Oxford. And you have, the apartment number. Um, you can, go up to that apartment number. Uh, you can confirm from the little, plate at the front door that there's a Brenchley is the name of the occupant of that unit. But if you knock on the door, there's no answer. What do you do?
If y'all will excuse me, I think I can do this. Um, would jimmying a lock apply to stealth?
There's an ability for this called entry.
Yeah, I have that. I
All
can,
right.
I can. So is what happened, Jack says. I can handle this. And you look at the lock and say, does anyone know how to pick a lock?
All
And Owen will kneel down to pick the lock.
right. So Owen successfully picks the lock. The door opens. Inside, it's a small cold water flat. Um, there's a single bed and a desk. Uh, it's quite. It's a bit dusty. It seems like nobody's been here in maybe a week, maybe longer.
How long has Lizzie been missing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that our timeline's been a bit vague in this campaign, so it's
Hmm.
hard to say exactly. But Lizzie's been missing since you got back from Gumby Hall, which is what, a fortnight, maybe 3 weeks ago?
I think George is going to search the desk for potential useful documents because she has a paper-shaped way of solving problems.
Yeah, sure. So the desk is um, mostly covered with documents about the town of Tysoe. So there's some maps with odd notations on them. There's some history books that cover that region with, pages marked and things like that. And there's a series of news clippings about a plague that has beset the cows of Tysoe. There's a lot of dairy farms in that region. There's reports, sort of growing more alarmed over time of an unidentified ailment that's caused the cows of Tysoe to stop producing milk. Most recently, with news that the Department of Agriculture is considering culling thousands of cows to stop the spread of this unknown disease. And there is one clipping notable to you that mentions a self-professed local witch named Marjorie Odell, who says that the plague has arisen because they have, I quote, abandoned the old ways, and that the town must start again making offerings to its old gods or be destroyed.
Well, gentlemen, I think we're going to Tyso.
Old gods. What a crock.
George opens her mouth and then closes it. Decides that this is not worth it. She is not going to argue with the man who literally sold his soul to the devil from hell about what is and is not a crock.
Is there anything else that you want to do here?
There isn't any sign, just to clarify, but there's been any like violence or struggle here, right?
There's no sign of violence. There's no sign of forced entry. Nothing like that.
Okay.
Um, I think as you leave, you'll hear one of the neighbors, or as you're about to leave, you'll hear one of the neighbors, coming up the stairs and about to head back into the neighboring apartment. Um, do you wait for her to go? Are you going to try and just like rush past her? What are you going to do?
I'm gonna go say, hey, you haven't seen the person who lives here, have you?
So you just sort of step out of the open door of the apartment and ask the neighbor that.
Yes.
Um, so it's a, middle-aged looking working class woman. She sort of crinkles her forehead to see this strange man emerging from her neighbor's flat. Says, what business is it of yours? What are you doing in there?
Well, we think she's in some trouble.
I think you'll be in some trouble. Get out of her apartment.
How long has it been since you've seen her? We're private investigators. We're trying to find her.
Private investigators.
Yeah.
I can smell
We're
the
not the
brown spirits
Bobbies.
on your breath from here.
That's why we're private investigators and not the police. Although the police probably do more drinking on the job than I do.
Well, get out of there. What are you doing in there? Who hired you?
As I told you, we are private investigators. We're looking for her because we think she's in danger.
Listen, she's a very private lady. I don't think she'd thank me for telling you anything about her. Do you have a spend you want to make here to convince her to tell you something?
Oh, what do I have at my disposal here?
I mean, you can use a class ability here. You could probably
I
use
was going to say, can
American if you
I
want
do flirting and romance?
to. What? I mean, what does that look like?
It's me leaning up against the wall and saying, can't help but notice how striking your eyes are.
Oh God.
I feel like they can pierce a man's soul.
All right. So I guess if you spend from flirting and romance, she'll giggle nervously and that at that and say, "Oh, I think it's I don't know, a few weeks since I saw her last."
A few weeks. Goodness gracious, doesn't that seem? I mean, surely with those eyes of yours, you would have seen her if she'd come back sooner than that, right?
I couldn't say. She's often away for in and out. She seemed. I'm never sure when she's home or not, really, unless I happen to run into her in the hall.
Do you have any idea where she might have gone?
No, she's very quiet. She doesn't say much.
Let me see. And you,
Me?
would you like to have dinner some night?
I don't think my husband would like that.
You wound me. My heart is broken. But tell him he's a very lucky man. Very fortunate indeed.
Oh, get on with you now. Shouldn't be
I
lurking
shall
around here.
pine for you for the rest of my days. And I'll say that a little bit with a little bit of exaggeration and smile.
Well, she'll chuckle and unlock her door and go inside.
I look at George and Owen and say, see, I can do stuff.
George was preparing to make her exit through the window, and I don't gives you a look.
What? I'm helping.
Yes, I have a great aunt that is single right now, Jack, if you ever get too lonely.
Owen, would you really want your great aunt to have any involvement with me? Do you hate this woman for something?
I never said I liked her.
Okay, that makes sense then. Sure. I mean, not that I want you to introduce the two of us, just that I understand why you would be willing to introduce us. That poor woman.
So, George suggested a trip to Tysoe. Does that mean the three of you are jumping in a car now, still fairly early in the day for a drive north? Or are there other things that you want to do in Oxford before you leave? Or um, other proposals about a way to go?
I'll go
Well,
get the
George is
car.
gonna this car that you will temporarily own. Yeah, George is going to go to the grocers and get. I mean, she has no idea how long they're going to be gone, and obviously Mirna cannot be wandering around trying to uh, buy eggs. So she's going to stock her apartment so Mirna can eat while she's gone.
Sure. Any other preparations that anyone wants to do before you head off? All right.
I can't think of anything.
She did uh, not sleep and then took off the ring. Uh, oh, is she going to send a message to Carrie?
Yeah, because you had assured Carrie that she would believe you by morning.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't think she's the type of person who would like use Myrna to convince her friend. That seems unkind to both of them. Um, oh, yeah, and then she had that talk with Lily. Um, I think she might send Carrie a note that says, um, perhaps you're right, and it would be best if our acquaintanceships came to an end.
Aw, all right.
Yeah. Oh, you muted me.
Jack, you have someone you kidnap.
Mm. Okay, so you send that note to Carrie, uh,
Yep.
a- and then the three of you are on the road.
It's a really good thing that Grand Theft Auto does not exist at this time in history.
I mean, I think they still frown on car theft.
I'm sure they do, but still.
Um, George, do you mention to Jack or Owen that you've sent this message to Carrie? Because Jack is also close with Carrie, as you know.
Yeah. And I think we've mentioned that, yeah, Carrie knows that Jack knows George. I'm just trying to think of all the uh, edges that we've established here. Uh, no, I don't think she does. Yeah, I think it's still too fresh for her. She doesn't look good. She has not slept and she is not doing well emotionally.
All right. And well, what's the plan once you get to Tysoe? So you're going to arrive maybe mid-afternoon, um, maybe have time to, find a hotel where you can stay, check in to be able to stay overnight if you need to. The news clippings that you found at the Brenchley apartment, they mention this so-called witch named Marjorie Odell and also a particular farm, the Shuttler farm, where the plague that's affecting the cows was first noticed. Did you want to go to either of those places, or what is the plan on arrival?
I have towns and cities, and I wonder if I do. So do we have Marjorie Odell? Is one of those places you just mentioned, is that somewhere that's like her living place? We already know that.
No, there's no address or anything like that given.
Yeah, I guess I would because towns and cities it helps you locate like you're good at locating things and that and kind of knowing where to go in towns and cities. I'm wondering if there's like anywhere I could go or like asking around. Is that something I'd be able to find out more about? Like if anyone knows where this Marjorie Odell lives.
Yeah, I think for sure you can, suss out where's the pub where people are a bit loose-lipped and where you could find out something like that. Um, so Owen's going to go talk to some locals and try and find out where Marjorie lives. George and Jack, are you going along with Owen, or do you have other plans?
Does Jack have other plans?
I think, George, I'm looking at you. I mean, you're usually the one who plans things. I just get ideas and then go do them, which that doesn't count as a plan, does it?
Uh, Not in her book particularly, especially if you just do the first idea. Um,
Is George's book the dictionary?
a complete OED, baby. It's so many volumes. Yeah,
I
that's why
mean,
she has points athletics, so she's carrying that around.
I guess, I should also mention the other thing that you know about Tyso, which could be a lead, which is that there was this giant earthworks horse on the hill, but people stopped tending it over the years, and it's no longer visible. But
Yeah, is
you
it?
can identify the hill where it used to be.
Uh, do we know if that hill is in um, close proximity to the Shuttler farm?
I mean, reasonably close. Like it's not the closest farm to the hill.
Interesting. Um, I don't think, given George thinks any of us should be traipsing off across the countryside alone. Um, I think she is, since we are starting in town, she's gonna try and see if she can't find information on Eileen Brenchley, right? Did she maybe stay at one of the hotels? Has she been forwarding her mail? I guess. I don't really know how the postal service in England worked at that time at all. Um,
Yeah,
eh.
interesting. Okay, so that makes sense. Jack, are you going along with one of the other two, or do you have some uh, other thing that you'd like to do?
I'm going to stick with George because, well, it may be the case that George needs somebody with her who knows the streets and knows how to get away from whomever. Like kind of like a bodyguard, but only helping her run, not a fight. Yeah, that seems about right.
So nothing like, well, I guess the, get down, Mr. President kind of vibes.
Okay, so uh, oh, and you find a local tavern where uh, people are drunk and talkative even in mid-afternoon. Um, the people that you're talking to are pretty sarcastic and mocking about this Odell. She's a famous sort of local character. She's a bit crazy, a bit woo-woo. Always thinks, she wants to talk about astrology and things that people, in this salt of the earth farming town think are a bit ridiculous. But yes, they will be able to give you an address or sort of directions at least to the house where she lives on the outskirts of Tysoe. Is there anything else that you want to ask about?
No, no, I don't, there aren't any other thoughts unless other people are thinking of things I should be asking here.
You could ask about the cows.
Yeah, I guess I'll chat about the cast because I assume that's
Yeah.
probably what everyone in town is talking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, people will definitely be happy to talk about the cow situation. Lots of people are out of work at the moment because the cows aren't giving milk. It first started, what, uh, about 6 months ago at the Shuttler Farm was where it was first noticed. Um, and some people just think, it's some sort of disease. They'll figure it out soon. Others think it's odd that it seems as if the illness, whatever it is, has extended uh, almost like in a geometrically like concentric expanding circle around the Shuttler farm. Not as you might expect in a more random or idiosyncratic pattern or random pattern, but almost like the zone just continues to expand evenly. Um, different people have theories about it. All of them pretty mundane. Nobody really credits Marjorie Odell's idea that this is to do with the old ways or old gods or anything like that. Although they probably will confirm that people here used to make offerings to druidic powers in the olden days. Um, All right. And George, there's not so many hotels in town, so it doesn't take you too long to track down the Red Horse Hotel. What will you spend to convince the hotel clerk to tell you something about uh, Eileen Brenchley?
Yeah. Perhaps Eileen's working class though.
I
Uh,
think the hotel professional middle class makes sense, or maybe oral history. Or
hmm,
something else, maybe even bureaucracy. I mean, a hotel's not
yeah,
exactly a bureaucracy, but it's to do with the records and stuff.
that's true. And maybe George is she claims to have something from a solicitor that she has to get to Eileen Brenchley, and it's quite time sensitive, which is why she's delivered it personally, and no one seems to be
Mm,
able to find her, and
yeah, yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
I buy that. Okay, so the clerk's name is, let's see, Raymond Morley. And Raymond will tell you that, yes, Miss Brenchley did stay here. She was here 2 weeks ago. She booked a full week in advance, but then she never came back after the third night. Her belongings are still here in storage. If you do find her, please let her know that we can't keep her things forever. Um, she'll have to come and collect them soon, or we'll take them to the charity shop.
I think George is nodding. And did she mention any place she might be going, or perhaps any of the local sites, or perhaps there's a nearby town she decided to stop into?
I think she asked about the Tysoe windmill, and he'll sort of give you directions to where the windmill stands. That's the
Thank
only
you,
thing
Mr.
I can
Morley. This has
remember.
been very helpful.
Hmm.
Ah.
And so I imagine it's, evening by the time you've both, had a chance to do this, ferreting out of information, and the three of you maybe meet up again for dinner. Exchange the information that you've already collected, and you can think about what you're going to do next.
Well, should we call on Marjorie Odell tonight?
She's the farmer, right?
She's the witch.
Ah,
Here, you know what? George rummages in her bag for a moment and pulls out a pad of paper and says, "There's this wonderful invention called taking notes that I think you will find most instructive. You have your own pen, don't you?"
why would I carry a pen?
And I think George sighs again, even more deeply. And she is not going to give you one of her pens. She will give you a pencil.
Well, this is awful sharp, George. I could hurt somebody with this.
So is the plan that the three of you will go visit the witch?
I don't have a better one. George?
Yeah,
Owen?
yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, let's do it.
Um, so you drive out to the Odell house at the edge of town. You can see the lights are on inside. It's the early parts of the night by now after dinner. You're just going to go up and knock on the door, or how are you approaching?
I mean, unless Jack or Owen, you know, suppose subterfuge, George is just going to go up and ask what we want to know.
Yeah, I wasn't playing subterfuge here either.
All right.
Yeah.
Um, so this one will open the door to you. She's quite old. She's older. She's, maybe in her 60s or early 70s. She's dressed in, sort of flowing country robe, country clothes. She opens the door and says, "Oh, I thought there would be four of you, but please come in."
Why would you think there'd be four of us?
Sybil, Jack. George removes her hat and comes in.
Um,
Wait, she can
Owen
predict the future too?
removes his hat and comes in as well.
I
she
don't have a
closes.
hat, so I'll just wander in.
She closes the door behind you, sits you down, offers you a round of drinks or tea, as you'd prefer, and says, I don't have too many visitors. I'm not so popular around here. They think I'm too negative, I suppose, too traditional in my approach to things. Um, so I'm happy to have you here. Uh, what what brings you to my home?
Marjorie, can I call you Marjorie?
Of course, sure. Why not?
I've had some fairly unsettling experiences recently. Um, and I think backed up by Owen and Jack. George is just going to sort of come out with it and says, are you familiar with the Children of the Leviathan?
Uh, no, I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Are you aware that there is something wrong with the, let's call it local nexus of power?
Yes, I mean, I've been very clear about this. The old ways must be respected. Offerings are to be left by the Tysoe windmill at the dawn of each summer, and we have neglected this practice. And what's befalling the local farms is the inevitable result.
Offerings to what?
Uh, well, to the old powers, the old gods.
I see. And is the windmill itself, well, I suppose the first thing we're trying to determine is the exact location of I keep using the word nexus. I'm just going to keep saying nexus. Uh, if you can offer something better. Place of power, perhaps. Uh, would you say that the windmill itself is the most notable location in the area? Or perhaps the horse?
Well, I mean, the horse certainly would have been. It's just part of the whole thing. That's what I mean. For hundreds of years, we practiced the scouring of the horse, and we let small minds end the practice. And now the town is on the verge of ruin. She doesn't seem to know what you mean by a place of power or nexus. You get the
Hmm.
sense that, whatever power she may have, it's not connected to the ley lines.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think George sort of glances over at Owen and Jack to see how they're reacting.
I'm I am curious here. This is I think the first time I've actually done it. I've kind of refused to do it up until now. Uh let's see. It is could I make a will test here because I want to see uh
Want to see if there's anything magic here?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because if she doesn't have it from the ley lines, her power must come from somewhere.
hmm Yeah, go ahead and make a will test. Difficulties 4.
Okay. And let's see. It's 5. Okay, that's a 7.
All right. So there's two things that you notice as you look with your mystical senses. The first is that there's nothing in here in her of hers or around her that reads as magical to you. There's no source of power that you can see. You know, her apartment's decorated with all kinds of, herbs and crystals and candles and things that could be magical in some fashion, and none of them resonate in any way. But what you do see is that there is a tiny invisible imp sitting on Jack's shoulder, and it looks at you as you see it, and it says, "Oh shit, it can see me, can't it?"
I'll grab Jack by the arm and pull him out of the room with me.
Like back outdoors.
Yep.
All
Hey,
right.
what the hell? Owen, come on. Normally you just punch me. Now you're pulling me around.
Jack, why do you have an imp on your shoulder?
Well, I'm gonna guess that's just old Scratch's way of keeping track of me. Why, you want to get rid of it for me?
Oh boy, could I? I don't know if I could do that. I don't think we have a spell for that. In fact, we haven't really been doing any spells at all. Um,
I mean, you
let's
could
see.
make a fighting test and think about using idiosyncratic magic or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking idiosyncratic magic.
Yeah.
Um, Owen, you can still see it, and you can see that it's whispering something into Jack's ear. Jack is not hearing anything that it might be saying, at least not consciously.
I'll punch it, and if like we end up punching Jack by accident, so be it.
Okay, so just to be clear, Jack is still on zero health, hasn't made any effort to recover. But yeah, go ahead. Roll that fighting roll.
Okay. Um,
So I think that for this to work, it is going to need to incorporate some
oh,
idiosyncratic magic. I buy that you can punch the imp back to hell, but there's a magical component to that. Um, so why don't you describe what's the, weird, flavorful addition to the punch that's going to make this work?
okay. So it's demons. Um, I remember where that element I remember it from. Um,
And maybe I'll come back to you and you can think about it for a minute.
yeah, let me think for a second.
All right. So George, Owen hustles Jack out suddenly, and you're left to talk to Marjorie yourself. Um, she will say, uh, "Tell me, George, was it? Do you know an Elizabeth Wyberg?
I'm acquainted with her.
She came to see me just over 2 weeks ago."
Wonder if that's my internet.
Hmm.
Okay, I think I lost connection there for a little bit. So George said she was acquainted with her, and then I heard nothing of the response.
Okay. So Marjorie will say, "She came to see me just over 2 weeks ago, and she said that it was possible that four of her students, I think she said, uh, might come to visit, and that if they did, well, that's what I mean. That's why I thought there might be four of you. But are you her students?"
We are, yes.
Hmm. Well, she told me that she was interested in the windmill and that that's where
Hmm.
she was going. And that if you came here, it would be because that something had happened to her and that I should warn you not to go to the windmill.
And it was, you're certain she said her name was Lizzie? Lizzie Wyberg. Elizabeth.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I see. 2 weeks ago. Did she tell you anything else?
I don't really remember. She asked about, the old ways, the things that I've told you. Um, I don't particularly remember anything else. Is there anything in particular that you're thinking of?
No. I supposed I'd hoped. Uh, something. Well, no, that's not fair. I was going to say I suppose I'd hoped that something helpful and useful would have happened, but you've been extremely helpful, Marjorie.
Well, thank you. I rather hoped you'd find me more helpful than that, but I suppose it is as it is.
I very much respect your expertise in this local area. I was more thinking of something personal and complex that I hope I hope you never have to deal with.
All right. Well, you're welcome to visit again if there's anything else I can do. As I say, I don't have many visitors out this way.
I think George looks around this sort of quiet, herb drying, peaceful little room and says, I think I'd like that as well. I'm going to go check on the other students before anything happens.
All right. So, Owen, how are you
think I
punching?
have I think I have some spikes
Okay.
taken from a decommissioned railroad line. Um, and I think yeah, I think they're from a decommissioned railroad line. Um, I'm trying to think of like what the I have like a thought here. I need to just put into words. I think the thing that makes them unique is that they needed to have been I wrote onto each of them are written the name of the worker that nailed them in. And so they retain the memory of that act of breaking into the earth.
Thanks. Um, all right. And you are like trying to spike the imp with one of
Yep,
these? All
yep.
right. I buy that. So it's a will test for the idiosyncratic magic to work.
Okay. Okay, so it's gonna take me down to two. That's a 9.
All right. And then it's a fighting test, but because the idiosyncratic magic worked, you can spend will points on a uh, one in another general ability on a 2-to-1 basis. So you can spend 2 will points to add 1 to your fighting roll, and I think you need to do at least that for the magical aspect of the attack to work.
I need to do at least what?
Well, at least put in 2 points of will for 1 point of the roll.
Okay. I had already made the roll. It just barely squeaked by with those extra 2 points of will.
Okay, cool. Um, so yeah, the imp sort of dissipates in a cloud of sulfur that Jack can smell as well as you drive the spike into it. And I guess George emerges from the cottage just in time to see you apparently stabbing Jack with a railway spike. But Jack seems okay. The spike pulls up short. Um, and we're at the top of the hour, so maybe we'll take a second break here.
I'm back, Shane.
Cool.
Also back.
Cool. Right. Well, we're back. So it's, what, like 9 p.m. by the time Owen has vanquished the imp outside Marjorie Odell's cottage. Um, it's getting somewhat late. It's definitely dark out on the fields where the windmill would be. Um,
Really quick,
yeah.
George, you walk out to Owen's basically looking like he's stabbing you with a railroad spike. Do you have any reaction to that?
Um, he's stabbing towards you, right? And
Yeah.
then, oh, I guess you said there was a puff of sulfur, that is, I don't know how close to the door you all are. Um, yeah, I think she takes like a step forward and gasps a little bit and then stops. Oh no, hello. Sorry,
Uh-oh.
that was not in character. Uh,
Uh-oh. Who's the cat? Who's the cat? What's the cat's name?
A HIPAA.
Hippa?
HIPAA,
Yeah.
Hmm.
like compliant?
No, like short for Hippolyta.
Ah,
But also compliant.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I think she was famously non-compliant.
Well,
I think she
yeah, but
got
I'm talking about the portable health care, the portable records act.
yes, yes, I know. Uh, uh, and then
Whatever you
I
mean.
think I know. I think there's a moment where she stands there looking at the two of you, um,
I just look
in
at
this
you. I look
tableau.
back at you. What?
Lizzie uh, went to the windmill,
Okay, so
and she
let's go to the
told,
windmill.
I'm not done.
Oh,
Uh, she told Marjorie that if she didn't come back and her students came looking for her, we weren't to go after her, that it would be too dangerous. I'm going. You are welcome to come with me if you like, but I thought you should have fair warning.
please. George, do I strike you as someone who shies away from going into danger?
I don't know that you want me to answer that, Jack.
I have played in blues clubs where they consider it a good night if no one died.
Sounds like Jack's in then. No one?
What's a windmill going to do to me that a blues club hasn't? Hmm? Hmm?
Uh,
Come on,
I
Owen.
said, sounds
I
like
think
Jack's in then.
I think Owen looks drained and pale.
Mm.
Uh because I am down to 0 will.
I'm just ignoring the
Um
fact that I've been at zero health for the entire session, basically.
yeah, you just had like an unbandaged head wound this entire time. Um How did we get out here?
Drove. I
It was
assume
heavily
you have a
implied
car.
Jack stole a car.
Oh, I didn't know it was implied. I thought that was just a given. I thought that was understood.
Yes, George, if you could perhaps drive us the way back. I need a bit of a rest.
Okay, Owen's out. I'm in. Let's go.
I think George sort of shrugs and says, "No time like the present."
And I pull a card real quick. Look at it, mutter. A weapon with you, George?
I will point out, we actually have the ability to heal health and will. We just are not.
Yeah, so you can use first aid or comfort and support to help someone restore those abilities, or you can engage with your pillars for a small boost.
Yeah, and it is a good trade-off because it's like 1 for 2.
George does not
I,
have comfort and support.
You have first
Yeah,
aid, and
only
She
only
does. She does.
only Jack has comfort and support of the
I
people
know.
here, and only George has first aid. It's funny to think that Jack is the most comforting of the three of you.
well, it's because I play blues music.
Mhm.
I know a thing or two about people in their hard times and sorrows.
George will just tell you the unvarnished truth and be confused why you are not delighted
Yeah.
by it. Yeah, but maybe if before we get in the car, George will have Jack sort of sit in the back sideways and at least do something about this head wound, especially since he's been drinking. To the tune of, is it 1 to 2?
Yeah,
Yeah. Take your health back. Get back to 6.
nice.
All right. I'll look at you and smile gratefully and say, thank you, George.
Do you want to try and comfort and support Owen?
Yes, how does Jack comfort and support in this moment?
I'll lean forward, say, so, Owen, do you enjoy punching me? Like, is it something that you derive pleasure from, or is it just something necessary that you do?
Yes, we'll say it's necessary.
So you don't enjoy it at all?
I didn't say that. I just said that it's necessary, Jack.
Clap you on the shoulder and say, good man, finding pleasure in the things you have to do. I don't even take offense that it's usually my face. Just, I'm happy that you get to be happy. It's something that you think is necessary. I bet you really enjoy punching fascists, don't you?
Well, as established, we didn't
Look, when this is
well,
done, you and I need to go back to Birmingham and we'll punch some fascists together. George, are you in?
that sounds wonderful, Jack, but I don't know if I should be going back to Birmingham while there is a police search out.
Well, you could always use glamour, you know, to look like somebody else for a bit. Maybe even look like Moses Sabini. Like maybe kill a couple of fascists while you're at it so that Moses Sabini's wanted this time.
Um,
Now kill. Killing I don't know, George. What's the ethical thing with fascists? Is killing them okay?
I, I mean, in a war footing, I don't personally generally hold with murder. I sort of assumed I didn't have to say that out loud.
So I'm not talking about sneaking up behind somebody in an alley and cutting their throat. Nothing like that. Um, although I won't cry if any of them have that happen to them.
No
But
one
if you're
doesn't say it. That
facing
was
them,
like the original plan at the train station.
but if you're facing them and they're armed, is it ethical to dispatch them?
I mean, I think that if they were going to hurt you, that counts as self-defense.
Okay, there we go. Owen, all we have to do is get them to attack us. How does
Wonderful
George
plan,
feel
Jack.
about Jack's interpretation of this?
I think George shares a look with Owen and tightens the bandage on your head, maybe slightly tighter than it needs to be, and we'll climb into the driver's seat. All right, are we ready?
I'm always ready. I've been getting in trouble my whole life. Why stop now?
How much comfort and support are you spending here, Jack?
What is it? 2 to 1?
Mhm. Well, one point
And
Yes.
from you for 2 points to Owen.
Yeah,
yeah. And how much will do you need to repair, or replace,
8.
or 8? Okay, so
Well,
I'll
just
spend
being
4.
above 0 is much
Yeah.
better. Um,
Comfort and support. There we are.
okay.
So I'll spend 4 to get you back to 8.
All right. So
Yeah.
I think I also have to point out that George did not sleep last night. It's not really clear to me that any of you slept last night to any appreciable extent. If you're gonna like stay out again all night, then I
I assume
think,
Owen must have slept a little bit because he didn't go straight to George's place.
yeah, okay, sure. But
Yes, probably did not get a full night's sleep.
if the plan is to spend this whole night out adventuring, investigating whatever you might find by the windmill, I think we're going to start. I'm going to give you some will penalties or composure tests or something. Um,
Owen's plan was to go back to the hotel or inn and read a book.
um, so
That
yeah,
is not the route George sets off on.
okay. So George is just driving to the windmill.
Yeah, unless one of you I think unless specifically Owen is like, no, we should probably sleep first.
I'll yawn. And I'm assuming that I'd taken the bottle of brown liquid with me, and I just take a slug off of it and offer it to Owen.
I will look at George and say, George, when was the last time you slept?
It's not important, is it? So you asked George when the last time she slept was. Uh, just frowns over at you. Does it matter?
Matters if you think that going out unprepared and under-rested will be a solution to anyone's problems.
What if we go out unprepared and drunk? I also
Oh,
have
well,
a
there
little
you
bit of
go,
opium
George.
left if any of
Jack
you
thinks it's
want
a
that.
wonderful idea.
Yeah, the car slows. I imagine this is sort of, we've just turned down, classic English country road, white waypost, signpost. Um, and
Why are we slowing down?
I think she'll look at Owen and say, maybe you're right.
What? He says I agree with it, so it's obviously a bad idea. Now you're agreeing with him? Come on, we were going to the windmill.
George continues to ignore Jack. Uh, I think she says, the I don't know, Lily rattled me. I I just don't know how much time we have, Owen. And I want to do what I can with what we've got, but you're probably right. We should rest. I am tired. And she'll reverse and take the road back to town instead of towards the windmill.
All right. So in that case, I imagine that you will get whatever passes for a good night's sleep at this point. Um, and then maybe the next morning you are uh, ready to go back out towards the windmill.
I will actually wake up early and have a full English breakfast.
Right?
Tomatoes and beans.
I think George usually drinks tea, but today she's having coffee.
Um, hmm. What is Owen eating today? Hmm. I'm thinking it's not something anything too complicated. I think that he is still a bit off because he was just down to like zero will for a while. I think his appetite is a bit missing.
All right. Is there anything that you want to talk about, or shall we just arrive at the windmill?
I think George pulls up outside the windmill.
I
Sorry,
sort of
unless there's
say,
something you would say, Puckett.
um, so I look over at you and I say, so, and don't get me wrong, it's okay if we don't. You know that I'm all about not having a plan, but do we have a plan? Like a plan that's more detailed than go to the windmill and see what's there.
Go to the windmill, see what's there, find Lizzie, see if it is a place of power. If it is, try to attune to it. And if that's a dead end, head to the farm. And if that's a dead end, head to the horse. Is that enough
Okay,
plan for
good
you,
enough.
Jack?
Good enough. Let's go.
All right.
I don't need to know what we're doing once he gets there. Yeah, good enough.
So the windmill is on the northern edge of or just past the northern edge of the town. One thing that you'll notice is that it is immediately adjacent to the Shuttler farm where the cow plague first broke out. Um, the I don't know what you call it. The blades, I guess, of the windmill are missing. It was struck by lightning in 1915, and they haven't been replaced. So it's not a working windmill. What do you do?
Look at George and say, so when we were looking at doing this last night, the card I pulled is the Queen of Swords, reversed. You're gonna need to use a lot of logic on this one. And it may be the case that you have to use kind of cruel logic. That's what swords usually mean. Got to cut through the bullshit.
That or I'm supposed to do a handstand.
Why would you do a
Uh,
handstand?
oh, you said it was reversed, didn't you? And she hops out of the car.
Making jokes to me about my own tarot deck.
Owen chuckles, and I think that I'd like to try sneaking up to see if just in case there's something dangerous here waiting for us.
You want to make a stealth check?
Yeah. I'm pretty good at that. I've never used a fairy to my stealth. I'll use, well, yeah, I'll use spend down to 0 there. And okay, that's a 4.
All right. So you're quiet enough that nobody would notice you approaching the windmill, and um, you confirm that there's no one here, like nothing lurking around, nothing that could no obvious danger.
Okay.
In Sutton Park, you used your magic vision to check where the ley lines met. Is that what you want to do here, or is there a different plan?
Yes, I was clicking through tabs to see what the name of the mechanic was called.
Yeah.
Mystical Vision.
Mystical vision. All right. And you're looking, yeah. So go ahead and make a will test, but just to be clear, you're looking for where the ley lines meet here.
Yes.
You you sound uncertain.
Yeah, so
Well,
I'm
you
thinking.
sounded like you were setting us up for a trap. That's all.
I
No. So I'm just thinking about what specifically we know about the windmill. We know this is where the offerings were left. We know that it's near the nexus of the weird cow plague. We know that this is where Lizzie Wyberg disappeared.
well, you know it's where she said she was going.
Wow, that's true. That's true. George suspects this is where Lizzie Wyberg disappeared. So I think it's broader than that, and then
Mhm.
thus presumably more expensive. I think she is looking for any signs of magic.
It's not more expensive. You'll still just see, what magic is to be seen. Um,
Mhm.
I just wanted to understand what it was that George was expecting or looking for. But yeah, go ahead and make a will test.
I'll spend 2, I think. 6.
All right. Um, so you do see that there are ley lines around here, but they don't meet at the windmill itself. They meet, a few hundred yards further away, sort of down a valley and across a clearing. But where they meet is something that appears to you as your mystical senses open, and it is an enormous castle, invisible when looking through human eyes, but plainly apparent when you open your mystical senses.
Uh, yeah, I don't know who's standing closest to George. I don't know whether it's Jack or Owen, but she'll just sort of like smack you on the shoulder and say, "Good Lord, do you
You're
see
seeing
that?"
this, right? Oh,
Yeah.
it's not just okay. I thought I might be hallucinating.
Jack, are you also using your mystical vision?
Yes.
So just a will test for that.
Well, let's see. I'll spend 3. Let's see if I get
Uh,
any information out of this.
and I think George will take her fairy stone out of her pocket and toss it to Owen.
That's a 6.
All right. So yeah, George and Jack, you can both see this great castle in the valley just beyond the windmill. Owen, what do you do?
Um, oh boy. Well, is I assume that's our destination.
I was
It
hoping
seems
somebody
likely.
wouldn't say that.
So Owen isn't using mystical vision here?
Oh yeah, I guess I need to. Sure, I can do that. Um, Let me just roll that.
All
That's a
right.
6.
All right. So you can all see this castle, and you can all see that its great stone front door is closed. Um, you don't see any signs of anyone in the windows or battlements or anything like that.
So do we just like what? Walk up and knock? Kick the doors?
I'll
Oh, and
we
those don't
walk
look that
around it
heavy.
first.
We can move them, right?
Sorry, T, I didn't hear what you said.
George is going to suggest before we just walk up to the doors, we walk around it and see what all the sides look like.
Yeah.
How big a castle is it? Would our mystical vision last that long?
Yeah, I don't know. Do we have a rule about exactly how long mystical vision lasts? Not really. I mean, I think that you'll be able to see it for as long as you're sort of directly gazing upon it. I think that might be how
Okay.
we rule that it works. So yeah, you certainly can walk around it. Which, I mean, it looks from all sides to be a castle. Of course, it's impossible that it's here. There's no historical record of any castle in this area. Um, and there's no, apart from the big closed front door, there's no apparent entrance or exit that you can see. There are some windows on the upper stories, but it looks ferociously difficult to climb up there.
Is it made of local stone?
Oh, great question. Do you have an ability like outdoors that might help you to figure that out?
I believe I do. Yes, I will spend it outdoors.
Yeah, you don't need to spend it. It'll just be a free information for having outdoors. That is not local stone. In fact, you've never seen stone like this before.
Hmm.
The stone has a sort of shimmering quality. Um, if anything, it reminds you a little of the two gentlemen you met in your office.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Can I do an occult spend to get information about its magical properties or weird properties?
So a cult is mostly about like knowing the history of magic and magical organizations and personalities and things like that.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I don't really know that there's anything you can tell about well, let's see. What can you tell for an occult spend? Um,
Or a magic spend. I've got points in both.
yeah. I mean, magic's a weird investigative ability that you can only really use to cast magic, not actually to investigate anything. But okay, I
Okay.
mean, for an occult spend, you can recognize something like this from occult books or stories that you've heard before.
Right.
Would you be happy with that?
Sure. I wondered if it might have anything to do with that little contract kind of looming over my head.
So you don't think, well, maybe it does and maybe it doesn't, but you've heard stories, you've read stories about a castle belonging to the Goblin King that was located behind a windmill and invisible to human senses. And everything about this castle resonates with what you've heard about the Goblin King's palace.
I will relay that to the others.
I look over at George just to confirm that any of that is true.
I mean, without spending, since there's already a spend for this, it fits with what you know from folklore.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know, but like, not to get more, just that like Owen wants to look to someone who like research
Uh-huh.
he trusts.
Yeah, George is sort of nodding and says, well, I suppose we could knock and ask for guests, right? Do we sense previously it's been, a very strong sense of the unwellness of the node. Do we sense anything of that here?
I think that like you can tell that the node itself is inside or under the castle, and you're not close enough to it to get a real sense of what it's like.
Hmm, inconvenient.
Hmm.
Uh, I think George, because I did see you use one of your railroad spikes yesterday, uh, and you said you had several. And George is going to say, I don't know whether it's a better idea to leave the iron out here or take it in.
Well, I'd rather have a means of defending myself if things come to that.
Fair enough. Let's knock.
Um, all right. So you knock on the castle door, and you hear sort of distantly inside the sound of footsteps, rapid footsteps approaching. You hear something sort of dragged along a stone floor. It seems to be a ladder, so someone is climbing up to open the little, hatch in the door that they can look out through. And you see a man's face look out through the hatch, look down and see the three of you, and say, "Well, what business have you here?"
I'll look over at George and Owen. I've got a tendency to piss people off when I talk to them. Maybe one of you two should take this.
I think George sort of shrugs. Her instinct is always just to baldly tell the truth. And she says, well, two things. First, we're looking for our mentor. Uh, and second, we were hoping to help mm, correct any foulness in the node underneath the castle.
Alice. Well, I'm sorry. The king and his consort are not taking visitors. You'll have to leave.
I look at
Well, go
George.
on. Shh, shh, shh.
My turn.
I mean, this is as far as she'd gotten.
Oi! You up there. If you don't open these doors, I'm going to start playing music out here, and the Goblin King is going to be very angry that everybody is coming out here to see what's going on instead of staying in there and paying attention to him.
So the face that's poked out through the hatch will look very smug and self-satisfied at that, and he says, "Oh, everyone in here will come out. Oh, wouldn't that be terrible? Oh, we'd lose so many people. Oh dear. Oh well.
I know this man is going to be playing for King Oberon. Do you really want to have someone that's getting to play for King Oberon that that is not also playing in your court?
Interesting. So
They're
I
gonna
think
miss out. Like Oberon is going to get this human musician playing in his court, and the Goblin King will just get some other random, some random, non-imported musician.
I look over at
um,
George and say, "Did you ever think that me making a deal with the fairy becoming useful?"
so this little man will say, listen, I can see that you mean well or mean badly. It doesn't really make a difference. There was a time when the King cared about things like status, the other courts, but that time has passed. Uh, Ever since his consort arrived, and you're only going to get yourselves into terrible trouble if you don't leave. So please,
Buddy,
begging you.
what do you mean get into terrible trouble? I'm always in terrible trouble. And I will pull out my guitar and start playing.
Uh, George will reach over and put her hand around the neck to mute the strings and say, "Who's the Goblin King's consort?"
What will he say? Yeah, I guess he'll just tell you. He says, well, the her name is Nanny Rut. And with that, he abruptly closes the hatch and goes back inside. Um, and I don't know if any of you as players recall, but Nanny Rut was
Oh,
the
I
name
sure
of
do.
the nature spirit of Gumby Hall, um, or in the woods by Gumby Hall, connected to the dolmen. Um, what do you do?
I'm
I
going to
mean,
play like the devil because that's actually something that I can do.
Uh, Jack, I don't know that we necessarily want to meet Nanny Rut again, given what happened last time. You weren't there. Owen, tell him what happened last time.
Well, that was the thing with the children, right? Just out of character.
Mhm.
so
Yeah, we're
that yeah, you didn't meet Nanny Rut exactly,
Yeah, okay.
but
I didn't
there
think
were
yeah.
rumors of this sort of evil nature spirit of some kind that maybe was connected to what had happened to the children, to make them evil or whatever happened.
yeah, and I think the
There was that demonic child you wrestled with, wasn't there, George?
yeah,
Mr.
he said he was taking me into to meet Nanny Rut.
Okay, that's probably why that's it. That's why I don't remember this, right?
Yeah. I don't know that we actually ever saw her and she showed up.
No, we never saw her.
That's
Mhm.
right.
That doesn't mean she wasn't there,
Well,
That's
especially
knowing all that,
considering.
I now compose a song on the spot about Nanny Rut.
okay. So I think it might make sense to wrap up here for the day, partly because this is probably a good spot for Sybil to jump back in. And so uh, if everyone's happy with that, mark 1 XP for the session and 1 if you engage with any of your keys or touchstones. And I will end the recording so we can do stars and wishes.